With a show of hands, how many of you have done arranged marriage over here? Okay, that's a few of them. Good evening, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guest. I am Janhavi. When we first look at the biodata, we tend to check the basics like education, how many and which one degree does the person possess. The next is what is the person's height? Then how much does the person weigh? And what is the person's age? If all this matches, then we tend to check like when has the person born, at which date, and at what time, so that we can match the horoscope. One day, and one number here and there, and the biodata is rejected. So one day, an auntie called up my parents, and she told that sorry, we cannot proceed further because the number in Hindi, which we call it as good, which matches, is 18, and which is a borderline. So to narrate this entire incident, my mother came up to me and she told me. And then I gave my mother a look and she looked at me. And then I looked at my mother and then she went. If if horoscope matching is not the criteria, then there are people who also consider numerology. But numbers are there to see if two people get along well or not. That is definitely one way to look at it. But what I believe is also important is to ask pertinent questions like what kind of person he or she is, what quality does he or she possess, do we connect emotionally, do we have clear set of communications, or is it just about looks and appearances? What kind of vibe do we share? Does our thought process align? Like my parents, they had an arranged marriage and they are totally opposite of each other. But they do respect their differences and eventually find a common ground. And especially, but when it comes to raising children, their thought process is exactly the same. So naturally, what would also matter to me is even after having the differences, we are able to voice over our opinion and have a clear communication. Now, before COVID, meetings used to happen face to face, and we could even seek matchmakers' help. Like we can give our biodata and our set of preferences, and they would suggest someone accordingly. It was so much in that we also have a show on Netflix on that. Then COVID happened, and now we can look for our preferences on various matrimony sites as well as on WhatsApp group. It is like Tinder, but instead of swiping right and instead of swiping left, we can swipe up and we can swipe down. So the other day, I met a potential husband for the first time, and I was flabbergasted because he was wearing track pants below his shirt. Well, the first impression definitely went for a toss. And then we started talking and started knowing about each other's preferences. So he asked me a couple of questions, which were, do you know to cook only Maggie? Or do you know anything about that? Then, are you interested in cricket? Or are you interested in football? Or any other activities? And his preferences just kept going. Then I asked him questions. Being two daughters, will you be able and willing to support my parents and treat them just like your parents? Our conversations kept on going on. And my opinion, and but the highlight of the day was when he actually made the welcome drink and he served himself. Well, that actually changed my view towards arranged marriage as well as to the entire marriage scenario. Either love marriage or arranged marriage. Things are going to be different post marriage. It is about caring and sharing, as rightly said by Mark Twain. To get full value of joy, you must have someone to divide it with. On that note, if there are any single guys, you know whom to call. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Nivedita.